Hey guys, Orlando here with another contemplation of the jinkies that are transiting us in these days. When I'm recording this, it's the last moments of the transit of the 61st jinki in the position of the Sun and the 62nd jinki in the position of the Earth. So I don't know if you know this, if you are for a short time with the jinkies. Every almost 6 days, two jinkies, two programming partners, are transiting us in the positions of the Sun and the Earth. So they are impacting us with information about information that really has an impact in our lives. And I've seen these people that even if they are in the jinkies or not, uh, if they opened themselves, if they gone through a process of mental deconditioning, and they are open, they feel this transit, and they feel this the flavor of these jinkies. So this week was a very mental week because the 61st jinki and the 62nd jinki has a lot to do with the mind. Yeah, you see the shadows, psychosis and intellect, and it's very simple, yeah, to figure it out, even if you haven't been with jinkies for a long time. And the gifts are inspiration and precision, very very nice gifts, and the cities of impeccability and sanctity. Wow. So I'm going to tell you about what came through in these days for me, because I do these contemplations by feeling the energy of the period and then just writing about what comes. Yeah, it's like just seeing what comes out of me through writing by contemplating these jinkies. So um, there are a few messages that I want to relay to you, to transmit to you. And the first message is about the hyperactive mind, because we live in a society that has a very fast rhythm, and the mind adapted to this very fast rhythm. So this is how I think the mind took control of all of our being, because a hyperactive mind just overloads the system, and so we can't listen to ourselves. Yeah, because the mind is very busy, like a busy person. Yeah, just uh, having a very hard day at work, and just being focused on what to do and not focused on how that person feels. So a hyperactive mind has this effect, this side effect, that it's very hard to listen to ourselves if we when we have it. So mind becomes like a jamming device for the entire body and takes control of the being. Why? If you ask yourself why, because of why? Because of this question, why? This is why. Because of why? Because we look for answers. We look for answers, we look for solutions, we look for easy fixes, and we look for them in the exterior, in the outside. So I felt that, and I feel this, that the search for answers is leading us into suffering. Yeah, the search for the absolute truth is what makes us suffer, because we always get confused and full of doubt because of this this search. So we have to look at life to the eyes of a contemplator, or a person that meditates by being, like a moving meditation. Um, because then suffering will make sense, and because if we aren't looking through the eyes of the contemplator, life won't make sense, and we'll feel that life is shitty, and life hates us, or God hates us, or I don't know who. So what we have to do is to clean our perception so much that we can see the underlinings of causality, and to see that everything, every effect has a cause. It's not random. And then suffering is starting to make sense, and then we instinctively know what to do, if there's anything to do in that, because um, yeah, when we suffer, what we can do is just be with the suffering, because if we try to eliminate it, if we try to run away from it, it won't work, this. um, yeah, so this is why I think every person in this period of time benefits from starting a process of mental and emotional deconditioning, to really clean the mind of those rooted patterns that maintain that person in hyperactivity. And um, in my own contemplations in the past, um, when I contemplated what I've done in some years of my life, I've came to the conclusion that I really didn't remember much. Uh, and I have lots of years until now. Yeah, I'm 36 in a few days from now, and I have lots of years in when I really can't remember, because of this hyperactivity, because of this psychosis that comes when someone blocks himself in his mind, yeah, and becomes the prisoner of the mind. Yes. So um, this is, I think, a very nice tool for everyone to really evaluate if one is living a full life, a life of I don't know how to put it in words. Mm, a life of experience, because we are here to experience life, yes, and not to think life. Yeah, this most of the companies in the world aren't trying to experience life, but to think life, and they just want results. Yes, I want to make $1 million in profit for that, and this is not experiencing life. This is just tracking a result, and makes people unhappy, makes people depressed. Um, I had the road from the airport to the town I am in Bucharest. The airport is like 20 kilometers from where I live, and to get to the airport, you have to leave the town. And when I came back from the airport, it was 7 in the morning, and the road was full of cars, and I think of people that went to work in that morning. And I really asked myself, how many of these people really know what they are doing? Yeah, really are in touch with themselves in that moment, and are not run by that program that says I must go to work, make money, yeah, I have to feed my family, and yeah, because this kind of thinking uh, makes years just go by. Yeah, and when I'm thinking about the past, and those years where I just ran, um, I ran from life because I chased illusions. I have a little regret there. Yeah, I think it's human to have regret, and I have a little regret there, because yeah, maybe I could have lived life I don't know, in another way. But then I understand causality, and I understand destiny. So this is what I came here to live. So I've lived like that, and I want to live a life that is not lacking, as Richard says. And in the last years, the last 3 4 years were full, and the last year was incredibly full of experience. And it was one of the years when I didn't work that much. Yeah, I. It is really interesting when I cut my hours of working shorter, my life made more sense, because life is not only work. um, if we are talking about the the shadows, let's start with them. Don't be scared about the word psychosis if you haven't gone into this jinky and you've seen this for the first time. Psychosis, because psychosis is really simple. Is the moment when you lose touch with reality. Uh, so we lose touch with reality. We have all the shadows. We leave all the shadows, and we aren't in touch with reality all the time. Yeah, there are moments when we aren't in touch with what happens in the now. So it's not it's not something I don't know, bad. Yeah, to have these moments. But when these moments are lots of them, and they are like not the exception, are the rule, then the quality of our life diminishes. And we wake up someday and like from a bad dream and say, did I run to what have I done in these years? Why did I chase that relationship or that job or that illusion of, I don't know, yeah, the perfect partner or something? Um, so about the quality of our lives, the quality of our lives doesn't depend on the answers we receive. This is what I felt in this period. Not answers will make life better. Life is better when you feel life and you contemplate life, or in the other way around, contemplate life and feel life. When you, as Richard puts it, when you pause and just feel what you feel in that moment, and also what the exterior offers you. Um, okay. There are many people that um, are looking for answers, and they are looking for answer to the question why. Um, and this is the a very fast way to suffering, because when you ask why, you are far from the answer. Yeah, because the answer doesn't come until you are ready, and you've seen this. Yeah, psychosis. Yeah, we just want things in the now. We put our mind to make up a strategy to feel better, to have lots of money, to have perfect relationships. But our life gets better with practice. Yeah, I've done this. I've given you this example. I think in every contemplation, because I'm really passionate about guitar and musical instruments. If you want to learn a musical instrument, you have to put hours in that. Yeah, I've seen a video with Ed Sheeran a few days ago, when a young person asked him what to do to become better, and or something like that was the question. And Ed Sheeran said, "Do you know the 10,000 rule?" 10,000 hour rule. You have to put 10,000 hours, and you'll be bad at first, but in time you'll be better and better and better. And this is how you get to being good. This is how you integrate. So this is why the answer to the question why is not relevant, because it will come to us in time. The or how do I make my life better, or things like that. It's just introspection. It's just observing ourselves. It's mental and emotional deconditioning, and to really see the patterns that are blocking us, and to clean them up. Yeah, to make a clean house. Yeah, to clean our house. Um, so we have to let the answer come to us, not chase the answer. This is one of the most important things I have to say to you today. um, yeah, let me see. I'm reading what other conclusions I've had in these days. Um, yeah. So about seeking, we have to seek. Yeah, but seeking through the lens of psychosis and intellect is is greed. Yeah, is getting us to never be satisfied with what we receive. But searching with inspiration and precision in as guides, this is another story. So some people are going to courses to get answers. Maybe to the jinkies. Some people come to the jinkies to get answers. But what the jinkies can offer them is inspiration and, of course, precision. Yeah, but if that person wants answers, I want answers, it will be disappointed. I say, this sucks. Yeah. This isn't the truth. No, the jinkies isn't the truth. It is part of the truth, as you and me, but it isn't really the truth. Okay. Um, so another thing that came up is that um, all of this psychosis and intellect comes from childhood, of course, because we don't have a strong roadmap. Yeah, we haven't been taught, most of us, to how to live in this life, to have a really solid yeah roadmap. So when we are 14, to know what to do with life, or when you are 21 or 30. But there are now people that don't have a solid roadmap when they are in their 40s or 50s and 60s and more, and they are just scared. And what this does is these people want to be right all the time, and so they validate their own roadmap, but their own roadmap is incomplete. Yeah, and they are looking for answers to complete their roadmap, but they are also trying to validate their roadmap until then. So so they are blocked in this. And it's a trap, because they aren't open enough to really put the remaining items in the roadmap, uh, if they are only trying to validate that they are right. And because if they would discover that the roadmap is incomplete or even corrupt, they will make them suffer. Yeah. So about the gifts, inspiration and precision, I think to get to these gifts and all of the gifts, it is very important the dissolving of the ego. Of course, step by step dissolving of the ego, not because when we identify less and less with who we think we are just like a vase that wants to be filled. We are an empty vase. So what this empty vase carries, of course, inspiration. Yeah, it is filled with inspiration, and inspiration gets us to be creative. And I think that creativity is one of the cures to depression. Yeah, because when a person is creative, when a person does something, when a person creates something, that person comes in contact with the God inside. Yeah, and feels the power of creation inside, and that person's life changes. Yeah, and this creativity must be done, of course, from joy. Yeah, from joy of living that and doing that. So the purpose of the creativity isn't really important, but creativity is. It's like mental fitness. Yeah, inspiration is like mental fitness. It's like the exercise of emptying the vase so it gets filled with inspiration. Uh, this is how I write my articles. I've written more than 500 articles in the last 2.5 years, and this is how I write them. I just empty the vase and let it get filled. This is how I write my contemplations, and this is how I'm talking to you. Yeah. So this is when precision comes. Yeah, when we are empty, because we have all the intelligences in us to guide ourselves through life. Yeah, we are very intelligent beings, but there are more many more intelligences than the mind. Mind is only one. If we only rely on mind, it's like driving a Lamborghini with I don't know 50 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour. It will it will very hard. It will be very hard to do that because we have all this potential when we align all these intelligences inside of us. Our potential is wow. This is precision. Yeah, when we empty the vase, we empty our mind, and all the intelligences of our body resonate and collaborate with the mind, because the mind is very important. And of course, the connection to the subtle bodies come, and the rest is, history. So precision comes when a person has this connection with mind and other intelligences, mind, body, and soul or spirit, or how do you want to say it? Okay, but it takes time. Yeah, it takes time to get there. We can't really. I've seen in my own process. I can't say I want to empty my mind now. No, it's like by doing this exercise and identifying less with who we think we are, and just being. By doing this exercise, um, and seeing those and observing those patterns that really block us, in time, uh, we'll do this naturally. Yeah, like playing guitar. Any guitarist will tell you at first you are very mechanical on the fretboard of the guitar, but after a while you just play and you don't think, because if you think, you get out of rhythm. So mind becomes the observer, and the rest of the precision from the rest of the intelligence is put in contact with the mind that observes this process. and coordinates this process, not leads, but coordinates, yeah, makes us to be creative and to not think our way with guitar, but but just playing. And what we need, I think, as modern human beings, we say we are modern human beings, but if humanity will survive in 10,000 years, we'll see us in the now in the 2000s and say, wow, these people were really savage. Look what they were doing. Look, wow, because we are lying to ourselves that we are modern. We are a very young species. Humans are not long here, but we are evolving fast. We have very good potential for transcendence, um, but we are young. So when we, as okay, let's say modern humans, if we need something, we need feeling, because when we feel what we do, we let out compassion, kindness, gentleness, firmness, and we become creative. Um, yeah. So as the CDs goes, I'm not really into contemplating the CDs in this kind of contemplations, because I think the CDs are a very personal experience for everyone. We feel them in our own way. It's like God. Yeah, we see God in our own way. Uh, but I'm going to just tell you what I feel about sanctity. So it's important for a person to empty himself or herself, and sanctity will come. When you empty yourself from joy and problems, from everything, you really become a receptor for everyone else. And when you become a receptor, you are holy. Yeah, you are sanctified, because what isn't really like pure. It's our defense mechanism. Our We have a natural defense mechanism, but we also have defense mechanism that is constructed by our mind. So if we don't trust our innate defense mechanism and we put extra walls, this is our impure side. This is the part that isn't really resonating with the higher levels of consciousness. Um, so we are all holy when we aren't, when we just disappear, and we just are, and then we become this receptor, this vase that carries the divine, carries the inspiration. And what we do from that perspective, it's impeccable. Yeah, the CD of the 62nd, the CD of the 61st is sanctity, and impeccability is the 62nd. So emptying gets this done. So we become the right person there. I don't know, and we say the right words, even if we say like something not really nice for that person. But if we really come from a place of emptiness, maybe we relay a message that that person needs, and maybe that person was only receives messages in a certain way when it's sent, I don't know, with curse words in it. Who knows? If we try to be holy, if we try to be impeccable, we are trapped in the trap of the mind. We are trapped in our intellect, and so psychosis comes. How what do I need to be more pure? Let me I don't know, make 500 meditations, or nothing like that will make us pure. We can become pure when we just empty and become this vase. Yeah, it's really simple for for me. So this is what I feel. I'm not trying to be right or wrong. I will maybe change my opinion in time. Um, if I if I will change my opinion, yeah, okay. Yeah, right now this is what I feel. We have such incredible precision in ourselves when we just empty, and when we aren't, and when we aren't, we really live life to the fullest. When we try, when we put this mental defense mechanism on, and the mental path, this is the path I must trudge. You know where this goes. Yeah, I'm not lecturing you. I'm just maybe reminding you of this. So the conclusion, the ending message is like a recommendation. It's like a little point of unholy advice, because unholy advice is for the you know who. So it's like recommendations. Uh, the first is to put beside who is right and who is wrong. This is the mental constructs self-defense mechanism. Um, the way you live, this is another one. The way you live is different from another person. If you try to convince other people to live like you or to be like you are also trapped in that mental illusion. But when you realize that everyone is different, then judgment is meaningless. Because truth becomes personal, unique, and original. So I wish you to be in contact with this ability that we all have. Yeah, the ability to navigate through life with precision by being inspired by life, by science, by the whole, by numbers, by I don't know. Yeah, so be inspired by everything. Everything can inspire you. A leaf can inspire you. A dog can inspire you. A homeless person can inspire you if you see one. A rich person can inspire you. Anything can inspire you. Let yourself be inspired with and by life. I wish you very inspiring year, because we are in the first days of the new year, and I really wish you well.